In Uganda, there have been reports of chimpanzees attacking and injuring people. These incidents have sparked a debate about how humans and chimpanzees can coexist in the same habitat. Chimpanzees are highly intelligent and social animals, and their habitats are often in close proximity to human communities. This can lead to conflicts between the two species, as chimps can become aggressive if they feel threatened or if their territory is encroached upon. In Uganda, reports of chimp attacks on adults and children have been increasing in recent years. In some cases, the chimps have entered homes or schools and attacked people, and in other cases, people have been attacked while playing outside. There are several theories as to why these attacks have been occurring. One theory is that habitat loss and fragmentation have led to food shortages for the chimps, causing them to seek out alternative sources of food such as crops or livestock. This puts them in direct conflict with humans who rely on these resources for their livelihoods. Another theory is that the chimps may be defending their territory from human encroachment. As human populations grow and expand into areas previously inhabited by chimps, the two species are forced to compete for resources and space. Whatever the cause, the increase in chimp attacks on people has prompted efforts to find ways to prevent future incidents. One solution is to educate local communities about the risks of interacting with wild chimps and how to avoid confrontations. This includes teaching people to stay away from chimps and not to provoke them. Another solution is to provide alternative food sources for the chimps, such as feeding stations or fruit trees planted outside of human settlements. This can help reduce the need for chimps to seek out human resources and decrease the likelihood of conflicts. In addition to these preventative measures, there have been efforts to improve the response to chimp attacks when they do occur. This includes providing medical treatment for injured children and working to safely relocate aggressive chimps to other areas. The issue of chimp attacks highlights the complex relationship between humans and wild animals in areas of shared habitat. While efforts to prevent future attacks are important, it is also crucial to find ways for humans and chimps to coexist peacefully in the long term. This will require a combination of education, resource management, and careful planning to ensure that both species can thrive in their respective environments. As of right now, the increase in chimp attacks in Uganda is a complex issue that highlights the challenges of living in close proximity to wild animals. It is important to continue to explore solutions that can help prevent future incidents and improve the response when they do occur. At the same time, efforts should be made to find ways for humans and chimps to coexist peacefully in the long term, recognizing the importance of both species to their respective ecosystems. Chimpanzees are one of the most intelligent and fascinating creatures in the animal kingdom. They share many characteristics with humans, including a complex social structure, advanced communication skills, and the ability to use tools. However, despite their charm and intelligence, chimpanzees are also among the most dangerous animals in the world. Chimpanzees are known to be aggressive and territorial, especially towards members of their own species. They are capable of taking down each other in fights over resources, territory, or dominance. This aggression is not limited to chimpanzees. They have been known to attack and take out other animals, including monkeys and even humans. In fact, chimpanzee attacks on humans are more common than many people realize. These attacks can be horrible, often resulting in serious injuries. The reasons for these attacks vary, but they are often the result of humans encroaching on chimpanzee territory or trying to interact with them in inappropriate ways. Chimpanzees are strong and agile creatures, with powerful jaws and sharp teeth. They can easily overpower a human and inflict serious damage with their teeth and hands. One of the most famous chimpanzee attacks on a human occurred in 2009, when a chimpanzee named Travis attacked and severely injured a woman in Connecticut. Travis was a well-known and beloved pet, but he had a history of aggressive behavior. The attack left the woman with extensive injuries, including the loss of both hands and a face transplant. Chimpanzees are not only vicious when they attack, they also carry a variety of diseases that can be transmitted to humans. Despite their dangerous nature, chimpanzees are still fascinating creatures that are worth studying and protecting. Many researchers are working to better understand chimpanzee behavior, social structure, and cognitive abilities, in the hopes of gaining new insights into human behavior and evolution. Additionally, Many organizations are working to protect chimpanzee populations from habitat destruction and other threats. As of right now, wildlife experts have said that chimpanzees are among the most dangerous animals in the world. Their aggressive behavior and physical strength make them a formidable opponent. However, despite this, chimpanzees are still fascinating creatures that are worth studying and protecting. Chimpanzees, along with other great apes, are considered to be one of the most intelligent non-human animals on the planet. These primates are known for their exceptional cognitive abilities, including their ability to use tools, communicate with one another, and display a wide range of emotions. Chimpanzees are capable of problem-solving, logical reasoning, and even exhibiting a form of self-awareness. One of the most well-known examples of chimpanzee intelligence is their use of tools. Wild chimps have been observed using sticks to fish termites out of mounds or to crack open nuts. They have also been observed using stones to crack open hard-shelled fruits. In captivity, chimpanzees have been trained to use sign language and other forms of communication to communicate with humans. Chimpanzees also have a remarkable ability to understand and communicate with each other. They have a complex social structure, with dominant individuals forming hierarchies within their group. They use a range of vocalizations, gestures, and body language to communicate with one another, and they are capable of understanding the emotional states of others. They have been observed comforting one another, playing together, and even mourning the loss of a group member. In addition to their communication skills, chimpanzees have also been shown to exhibit a form of self-awareness. Researchers have conducted a number of experiments in which chimpanzees have been able to recognize themselves in mirrors or other reflective surfaces. This ability to recognize oneself is considered to be a key indicator of self-awareness and is thought to be an important cognitive milestone in the development of intelligence. Chimpanzees also have excellent memories, allowing them to remember the location of food sources, recognize individual members of their group, and learn from past experiences. They have been observed using this knowledge to their advantage, such as raiding crops or stealing food from other groups. Their ability to use tools, communicate with each other, and exhibit a form of self-awareness are just a few examples of their remarkable intelligence. Humans and chimpanzees share a significant amount of DNA, with roughly 98.8% of our DNA being identical to that of chimpanzees. This makes chimpanzees our closest living relative. The similarities between humans and chimpanzees go beyond genetics, with both species sharing numerous physical and behavioral traits. One of the most significant similarities between humans and chimpanzees is our use of tools. One similarity between humans and chimpanzees is their social behavior. Both species live in complex social groups with a hierarchical structure, and both engage in a wide range of social behaviors, such as playing and communicating. Chimpanzees have also been observed displaying emotions such as sadness, happiness, and anger, much like humans. Chimpanzees also have a remarkable ability to learn and teach others. In the wild, young chimpanzees learn how to use tools and other survival skills from their mothers and other adult members of their group. They also have been observed teaching these skills to their younger siblings and peers, suggesting a level of cultural transmission similar to that seen in human societies. Perhaps the most striking similarity between humans and chimpanzees is our DNA. While the genetic differences between the two species are relatively small, they have significant consequences. For example, the genetic mutations that allowed humans to develop larger brains and more complex social structures are thought to have occurred in just a few genetic changes. Similarly, the genetic mutations that allowed chimpanzees to develop stronger muscles and a greater tolerance for bitter foods are also thought to have occurred in just a few genetic changes. Despite these similarities, there are still significant differences between humans and chimpanzees. Humans have developed complex language and symbolic systems, allowing us to communicate and think abstractly in ways that chimpanzees cannot. Humans also have a much larger brain-to-body size ratio than chimpanzees, indicating that we have evolved specialized cognitive abilities that chimpanzees lack. While humans and chimpanzees share many physical and behavioral traits, there are still significant differences between the two species. However, by studying the similarities and differences between humans and chimpanzees, we can gain a better understanding of our own evolution and the origins of human behavior. Chimps start wars for power. Although instances of chimpanzees ganging up to harm and take the life of their alpha are rare, male chimps as a whole can become very violent, and the struggle for power appears never-ending. Additionally, it has been widely noted that chimpanzees share many similar behaviors to humans, from using tools to forming strong community and familial bonds. However, it seems that one more major characteristic that we share with our primate relatives is the occasional outbreak of conflict in the name of increasing personal power. This interesting development was observed and carefully recorded by Dr. Jane Goodall in the Kasakila group, a clan of chimpanzees in Gombe National Park in Tanzania. The clan had once been a cohesive, unified chimpanzee community, but increasing tension in the dynamics slowly dissolved these relationships into what became the only known example of a chimpanzee conflict. After analysing the meticulous data collection on the social networks of the clan, researchers discovered that in the years prior to the development of the violent rift, the once cohesive community had started showing signs of the formation of defined subgroups. What started as cliques developing out of an abnormal male-to-female ratio amongst the group quickly escalated into factions. These factions generally followed the social networks that had been in place earlier, as chimps who had previously tended to favour each other stuck together. Each faction controlled certain territory and engaged in fatal clashes with other groups for land grabs and increased power as the growing friction developed into a full-fledged chimpanzee conflict. The strife caused the community to split into two main groups, what was left of the original Kasakela community and a group of separatists that became known as the Kahama community. However, the Kahama community only consisted of 6 adult males and 3 adult females to Kasakela's 8 males and 12 females, and over the course of a violent 4 years, all of the males of the Kahama community lost their lives, and the Kasakela group expanded into their territory. Although the Kasakela were eventually driven back by a third rival chimpanzee group, the events are not unlike those of historical conflict in the name of increased land and domination. Even the particulars were shockingly and unflatteringly human-like. The first blood of the conflict occurred when 6 Kasakela males were sent to ambush another Kahama male, and blatantly celebrated with boisterous hoots and screams once they had slain the opposing male. This shocking start to the 4-year Gombe civil conflict, which would become renowned for its insight into chimpanzee behaviour, was the first recorded time that any of the chimps in the group had been sent to deliberately take the life of a fellow male. Comparing chimpanzees to humans might seem like comparing apples to oranges. The research that Dr. Goodall conducted on the social relationships and behaviours that led to the split revealed patterns of community splintering that are not unlike what is seen in human groups. Perhaps these distantly related primates can teach us a great deal more about ourselves than people have realised. The mystery of the rongo. The next mystery from Easter Island is that of the rongo. Rongo is a form of writing that was discovered by Eugene Irode, who arrived at Easter Island as a missionary in 1864. During his time on the island, he came across a shocking discovery. Every hut was home to a piece of wood or a stick that had hieroglyphic characters written all over it. The drawings depict many different animals that are carved in with sharp stones. While these items are held onto, no one pays much attention to them in particular, which left Irode wondering if there's significant meaning behind what's written. The name itself is interesting and could possibly mean more than originally thought. The name is from Rapa Nui language and means to recite, to declaim, to chant out. Since the wooden tablets were mostly found somewhat damaged with parts burned and weathered over the years, it's been challenging to determine what they truly mean. In order to gain a clear perspective on these ancient artifacts, it's important to know just what period of time they came from. Unfortunately, it's been near impossible to determine a specific date, and the closest experts have landed on is the 13th century, which would have been when forest clearing happened on the island. How did they stumble upon that time period? One of the glyphs appeared to be an Easter Island palm, which had disappeared from the island in 1650. That means the scripts must be at least that old. Further examination pointed to an even later time period. Taking the timeline into account, it's easy to see how decoding the glyphs has been a demanding and strenuous task. When looking at the rongo under the impression that it's writing, many other factors impact uncovering what was being communicated. There is still a limited number of illustrations, text to examine, and the lack of other sources with the same writing to provide context. With so little information surrounding the rongo, it's challenging to come to any conclusions. One theory has proposed that it could be proto-writing, meaning that the symbols may provide meaning but might not necessarily be linguistic content. Under this theory, the rongo may have simply been used as a decoration or to help with memory. Whilst we still have no answers when it comes to the rongo, it's interesting to see how it could have been used to pass down stories or events to the next generations. With time, we may come across more information. Firm raises $15 million to bring woolly mammoth back from extinction. It is common knowledge that once an animal becomes extinct, it is gone forever from the face of the earth. However, although it might seem that the woolly mammoth, which went extinct 10,000 years ago, is one of the very last candidates to be able to return to Earth, an American firm has set out to change that fact. There are those within the scientific community who have long believed that it was within the realm of scientific possibility that the woolly mammoth could be brought back to life. But the funding and drive to see the project through had rarely been seriously discussed. Now, however, the bioscience and genetics company Colossal has put an astonishing $15 million behind the project. The company's founders are software entrepreneur Ben Lamb and Harvard Medical School geneticist George Church, and the pair hope that their research funding will create a mammoth-elephant hybrid. Church said that their goal with the project is to make a cold-resistant elephant, but it is going to look and behave like a mammoth. Not because we are trying to trick anybody, but because we want something that is functionally equivalent to the mammoth that will enjoy its time at -40 degrees Celsius and do all the things that elephants and mammoths do, in particular, knocking down trees. The team hopes to begin by creating laboratory-grown embryos with mammoth DNA, which will be carried by a surrogate mother or in an artificial womb, estimating that they could have their first hybrid mammoth baby born within 6 years. To create the hybrid embryo, the researchers involved in the project will combine skin cells from the endangered Asian elephants and versatile stem cells containing mammoth DNA that is responsible for coding mammoth hair, fat layers, and other cold weather adaptations. These mammoth genomes have been recovered from preserved mammoth specimens found in the permafrost that are loosely related to the Asian elephants. Colossal has framed the project as an effort to help conserve the endangered Asian elephants and give them the characteristics required in order to be able to survive and continue to reproduce in the mammoth steppe of the Arctic, known for its vast stretches of frigid temperatures and seemingly uninhabitable land. They also hope that reintroducing the animals can help restore habitat degradation and combat the climate crisis, but there are those who are vehemently against the idea and believe that the idea of totally reinventing the tundra using mammoth-elephant hybrids is beyond the realm of possibility. Some people are hesitant about the potential ramifications behind introducing a several-ton species into an already fragile environment, while there are also those who believe that the possibilities to alter this experiment for other endangered species could combat the mass extinctions being seen all over the globe. However, even in the case that all goes well, the introduction of the first ever woolly mammoth-elephant hybrid isn't due for several more years, so there is still time to wait and ponder the effects. But what do you make of these recent discoveries? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and help us grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.